she was a single mom, and she had 2 kids. She actually had 2 jobs. She was going through her budget, and at the end of the pay period, they were $37.
She comes out after she has learned so much. They saved her money. They helped her figure out things that she could do. And then she ended up paying off her mortgage.
Credit unions are international. They are all over the world, they're all over the country, and all credit unions operate under a very simple mantra, which is people helping people.
Welcome back to Stick a Fork in It. We appreciate you guys so much. We try to give you a new show every time explaining our work and how amazing our community is. So Feeding Tampa Bay could definitely not do this alone. We need partners by our side that help lift our work, help provide for folks. But it's kind of like having good friends. Those personalities and those goals all have to align to make it work. We're fortunate to have tons of them to get our work done. 100 million meals out in the community in 1 year takes a lot of work, a lot of people collaborating together. And then, of course, we're talking about lifting people out of food insecurity and into food security. But a big partner and friend of ours is Suncoast Credit Union. And I am joined by Bob, who I actually see everywhere I go when I do something for work.
Likewise, right back
like
at you.
You never stop. Like I'm in Tallahassee and I turn around and I'm like, Bob, what were you in Tallahassee for when we...
I think that was
Leadership Florida?
Well, I think that was Hillsborough County Day, and I was up there with the contingent from the Tampa Bay Chamber.
There we go.
Yep.
There
They
we
had
go.
all the pirates out there in the
Yes,
plaza.
we did.
So that
we
was
had like
Hillsborough
the
Day.
time, and we're all.
Yeah.
How fun is that?
Cuban sandwiches.
Beads. Yes, beads. It was right before Gasparilla.
That's a pirate's way.
Advocacy. So maybe let's start with that for a minute because this is the natural progression of things.
Sure.
So for my career, I've been doing this for I've been doing it for 25 years, but 23 of those, I was not involved in advocacy work. I didn't understand going to Tallahassee or going to Washington and communicating your message. And it is fascinating to me. I have a whole new respect for elected officials and all the things that they do. You do that as well, going up there for the bank.
We do. We do it on behalf of Suncoast Credit Union, and we do it at a national level up in DC through a local league, which includes Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Okay.
And then we also do it at the state level up in Tallahassee as well. And it's to really make sure that legislatures understand the value proposition that credit unions bring.
Right.
And it's
what is that? Tell us about that. Tell us a little bit about Suncoast Credit Union.
Well, sure. I mean, we were founded, believe it or not, in 1934. So we are 92 years old. And I joke with people that we are a 92-year-old company that's in hypergrowth mode.
Right.
Because we have some very, very significant growth goals.
Yes.
So we're right now at about 1.5 million members. And again, back to our value proposition, because of that value proposition, we feel so strongly that we can help more Floridians and their financial path, that our goal is to get to 2.5 million members by 2030.
Okay. So what did it, was it Suncoast when it started?
No, we were founded as the Hillsborough County Teachers Credit Union. And believe it or not, at that time,
I remember. That's why I asked you that. Because
you
I
remember 1934?
No. Don't tell my secrets out like that. No, on Fletcher, it was the Teachers Credit Union that it became Suncoast. But I just remember even being a kid, and that building on Fletcher near Carrollwood was there. And now it's, of course, is what it is today. But that's fascinating. That's amazing. So you started with teachers.
Teachers. And back then, the only member could be an actual educator.
Okay.
Not staff, not custodians, not administrators. It had to be a teacher. But we have evolved, and we've changed what's called our field of membership. And today, after a couple name changes, it includes anybody who lives, works, worships, or goes to school in the state of Florida.
Okay.
So pretty much anybody.
Anybody can be part of the Suncoast family.
Absolutely.
I mentioned how we work together.
Yes.
We work together on so many things. You guys are we talk about philanthropy budget, marketing budget. Sometimes those things overlap, and it makes a lot of sense for brands to partner with like minds.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? But there's a strategy to it. Yeah. And like I said, I see you everywhere, but I also see Suncoast everywhere. You guys are really investing in the community visually. Like you go by and there's a billboard, or you might see a commercial, but you're also investing in philanthropy. Feeding Tampa Bay, how long have you been with us?
2020. So it's only 6 years.
So-
It feels like a
so
lot
COVID.
longer, but yeah, 6
It
years.
depends. When you mention the pandemic or COVID,
Yeah.
it seems like forever ago.
Right. Those
for
are
me.
dog years.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are like the lost years where you didn't have a moment off for a year. So we started then, but you work with so many other organizations. Like I'll go to somebody else's event and I see you there. See, I see you everywhere. So how is it? What is the criteria? What is the foundation for Suncoast to choose partnerships? And I feel you're welcome to share a few that you guys have success with, other than Feeding Tampa Bay, even though I know we're your favorite. So go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Well, there are a lot, as you say,
Yeah.
but it's really all underpinned by a larger credit union philosophy and then a Suncoast specific philosophy.
Right.
So, for example, credit unions are international. They are all over the world, they're all over the country, and all credit unions operate under a very simple mantra, which is people helping people. At Suncoast, we've kind of taken that one step further and said our mission is to improve the lives of our members. So anything we do, we really want to make sure that we're mission aligned with the nonprofit that we're going to work with. And really it's partnership. And partnership, as you kind of alluded to, it's family. It's
Yes.
because it's a significant give, it's a take, and we're both working towards the same goals, which is to help the citizens of our community.
Right.
And in our case, specifically, we want to help to improve their lives, especially on the financial side when we can.
Right. And the thing is people are struggling so much right now. So there's so many ways that I don't think people understand that Suncoast can help, which we're going to get to.
Sure. Yeah.
Little tease there. There's
Yep.
so many things. But I really want to go over what our partnership had developed into.
Yeah.
You know, 6 years ago, we were working towards the Causeway Center, right?
Yeah.
So I think a substantial commitment that you guys made to us is you helped invest in that. You helped build this facility. And we were able to move into this facility because of partners and families and other organizations and counties that believe in our work and want to have the same outcomes that we do, right? So we have like a whole teaching area downstairs
Yeah.
that you actually provided. And how much was that investment?
It was $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah, it was a match that we set up, and when we made the commitment in 2022, finally, I think, inked the deal in 2023, but it was $1 million match. So not only were we committing to the million, but we're also trying to bring in another million for the capital campaign for
Which
this
you did.
beautiful Causeway Center.
It did. And
It's
we
great.
have like a beautiful mural. You guys have been here as because we have these community spaces
Yes.
that our partners can use and all of our catering and things like that. So you guys are here all the time. But I know you've been thanked for that a million times over. But I know when you're here, you feel how important that was because those rooms hold so many important opportunities for people to learn, to engage. We've taught CPR. We've taught cooking classes. We've taught computer literacy. We've done so many things in those space that this giant, beautiful colored wall
Yeah, it's nice.
has
It's
your
a blackboard,
brand on.
right?
It is.
It's a teacher blackboard.
It's a teaching
back to our roots
yes,
of the credit union.
of the teachers. So we're really, really thankful for that. What else have we done together? We've done a number of matching things.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about our contribution to the campaign is that when it came to Suncoast, we saw the vision, right? I think Thomas had it on a couple pieces of paper, very brief, but it was clear what the vision could be for this facility. And you probably remember back to the old facility, it was very, very different.
Yeah, they would have to beat me. We would have to beat me.
Yeah.
What Thomas refers to it as with everyone else. Yeah. It gave a lot of blessing to a lot of people, but definitely we can do our work better now.
For sure.
Right?
More space and air conditioning, which is nice in Florida. Right? It's
Air
not great.
conditioning.
But I remember
A place to sit if you're an employee.
When that document came to us and it kind of spelled out the vision, there was one person in particular inside of Suncoast, and it's a woman that works on my team, which is Mary McDonald, and she saw that and she said, we have to do this. And it was a soft ask for the $1 million. And I think some people are like, oh, we could do a few 100,000, maybe $500,000. But Mary was like, no, look at what they're expressing that they can do and what this facility can be. And that voice actually carried through the CEO and then ultimately to the board, because at that level, that does become a board decision.
Right.
So, Mary saw Thomas's vision and kind of was the real driver behind our contribution, which, like I said, we finally kind of inked that in 2023 and have been a strong and present partner ever since. And you referred to I think it's the Suncoast Credit Union community classroom downstairs. And it's great because there's 3 of them. We can do all those things that you mentioned and our financial wellness classes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many people, financial literacy. So I'm going to tell you a story that I think is super, super interesting. So we had one of our neighbors come in on our senior day. As you know, on Mondays is swell.
Yeah.
Seniors are the most impacted by the economy right now because of that fixed income. Yeah. Many of them can't go back to work or restart a career that they've retired from. And I think from a cultural standpoint, that's also a generation that they had that dream of retirement. You come to Florida and life is going to be a breeze, and it's not. So there's all these things, all this loneliness and all this other stuff. So we bring everyone in. We want to make sure that they don't get taken advantage of on their computer.
No scams. Yep.
No scams. And then when they're here, we want to make sure that they have something to do. So we have these classroom opportunities. So we encouraged this neighbor to take a financial literacy class. And she said, I am 70 years old. There is nothing I think you can teach me. I can balance my checkbook.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I challenge you. I really want to know how this works. I can't go in there. Why don't you go in and you just tell me how it works after? She comes out after. She has learned so much. They saved her money. They helped her figure out things that she could do. And then she ended up paying off her mortgage. Like there's all these things that you have this expert that you have the opportunity to engage with, that no matter how much you think you know, going with that curious mindset to learn things changed her life, and she paid off her mortgage.
It's unbelievable.
When I had met with her 6 months before, and she was talking about how she couldn't afford it, and she was 6 months away, and she might have to sell her house. That was what financial literacy did for her, financial wellness, as you say. So tell us a little bit about, you guys have, so there's small programs where you come in and you learn a little bit, and you're partnered with a counselor who helps walk you through personal stuff. But there's also a more robust opportunity that we're trying to create to really help those like my friend from our Swell program who couldn't believe it. I think I want to do it. And it's really open to anyone, right?
Yes. So I think the program that you're referring to is our new initiative called Prosperity Pathways. And we have active signups. In fact, I just saw a note yesterday. I think we now have up to 30 of your neighbors have signed up for the convening that is going to start soon.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, it's more than just come in and let's talk financial wellness for 45 or 60 minutes. Yeah. It's a very structured curriculum, and there are phases to it, and there's on-ramps and off-ramps. So in totality, any of the neighbors could do 3 successive phases of this program, and along the way, they learn a little more and they get in a little deeper. The nice part about it is for each phase, there are increasing incentives, financial incentives, to stay with the program.
Right.
And those financial incentives are match dollars based on how much a neighbor is saving in their account as we go through each phase of the pathway.
Which is amazing because that's a goal. So that is where we talk about authenticity, partnership, thinking alike, like minds in the same room. The fact that you guys come in, there's 3 phases. You are putting money where your mouth is, teaching someone how to, their financial pathway. When I read through the plan, it was like, how impressive is this? Because let's think about it. How many locations do you have?
We have 80 retail locations throughout Florida.
So you have 80 different locations to keep up with, a plethora of partners that you work with.
Hundreds.
hundreds of partners that you work with. Hey, but we're still the best.
Yes,
We're still
yes,
your favorite.
yes,
At
yes.
least we are for this podcast right now. So, but then taking the time to do this training with these folks and make sure they know what they're doing. It's
Right.
almost, to me, it's like a priceless opportunity that people should take advantage of.
It's probably one of our seminal programs that we have. And we have done something similar to this, but at a much smaller scale with some of our other partners. But when Thomas came to us and talked about the scale of what he wanted to do with the neighbors here, we took that model and we kind of like almost like 10x'd it and said, this is what we can do. And it falls right in line with what Feeding Tampa Bay is trying to do, which is to address those underlying food insecurity
Yes.
issues. Because it's
Yes.
it's much more than food here, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Been drinking the Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
my friend.
Well,
No,
I've
but
been-
that
I've
is
been
the
here
truth.
enough. I've been here enough that I know.
But that's the truth, though. When you sit there and you think about food insecurity is a symptom of so many other things going on. And we have all these wonderful partners, including you, that are under one roof, where you have that one connection, instead of trying to figure life out on your own to get back into food security or to experience it for even the first time. You need all these people in one place, because I can't imagine the challenge or the weight that you would feel when you're already buried, you're food insecure, and you have to go all over the place to try to find resources or help or ask questions. And you've helped us create a space where you come in and we have people actually help connect you with everyone here, whether it be even if email with the program, where it's going to be online, whatever the case may be, we're connecting folks. And you guys are really taking the time to do that. And that is lifting people towards stability.
Yeah, thank
Period.
you. And there's
And
one
changing
more,
lives.
Yeah, and there's another element to the program that I actually didn't mention. We talked about the 3 phases.
Yes.
Sometimes neighbors are just one little bitty step away from employment, but they've got
Yes.
there's a barrier. So in addition to those 3 phases, we also have a grant program that gets your neighbors over that barrier to employment. And we've had plenty of examples with this program in other places where there might be a laborer, and for whatever reason, they don't have their steel-toed shoes. So they're not allowed to go on the job site, OSHA regulations, et cetera. We purchased the steel-toed shoes. That person is back on site. A minor car repair maybe is preventing someone from getting to their job, and it's causing additional financial hardship. They have the job. All of a sudden, they can't get their minor car repair. We have the grant to get the car repaired so that person can get back to their employment. So that's part of this Prosperity to Pathways program.
So you build a relationship. You take the time, like we do here, to ask what's really going on in your life. Let us teach you how to be financially responsible, but let us lift you back up so you can actually consistently put money into your account that you're working so hard to manage and learn.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because we call this program, it's a hand up. It's not a handout. So there has to be contributions, by the neighbor, both in terms of time and commitment to the savings. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's just got to be commitment for regular savings, because that's the skill that we're trying to teach. And that's why we have that match as part of the program.
Yeah. Do you have, I know you're kind of all over the place, and it's okay if at your role it's really hard that you haven't really made a connection.
Yeah.
But do you have a story of success or connection that motivates you? Because, work is hard. You know what I mean? Like, you have goals that you need to meet. There's a lot of stress around work. And for us at Feeding Tampa Bay, it's those success stories that reinvigorate you, let's say, when you're burned out, right? Like for creating this program, we have 30 people and we have room. What is our goal? Well, what availability do we have? Not really a goal.
We budgeted for 100 neighbors this year.
Oh my gosh. So there we have
there's
so
room.
much more room
Yes.
for people. And we're definitely going to have the link underneath this on YouTube, so people can link in if they would like to join us.
Love it.
But do you have an experience that you look back on and that reinvigorates you for your work and what you do?
Yeah, there's a story that comes to mind often about a woman. Her name was Danielle, that I met in one of our financial literacy classes. And her experience really caused me to pause and reflect about how difficult sometimes it can be in people's financial situations. So in her case, she was a single mom, and she had 2 kids. she actually had 2 jobs. She was working in a medical office during the day, but she was working retail at night and weekends to try to make ends meet. So I was talking to her in this financial counseling session, and she was going through her budget. And at the end of the pay period, there were $37 left. 37. So I said,
go back. I want to
Yeah,
pause
yeah.
because this is something we say all the time.
yeah.
This is a single mom with 2 kids, 2 jobs, working her butt off, and still can't make ends meet.
Well, I'm glad you reiterated that, because that's a big part of the point I wanted to make is she was educated.
Yep.
She was driven. She was clearly just
had people to take care
working
of.
her tail off
Yes.
and committed, making good decisions,
Yeah.
doing everything right. And at the end of the pay period, 37. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's after, she put a few dollars aside for a rainy day fund and some savings and whatnot. But it wasn't. That was before any of those savings or rainy day funds had occurred. So she was behind because things would always occur. A car would have a difficulty. There goes $37. A kid gets sick and needs prescription. Exactly. Shoes wear out. There goes $37. So what happens is after a few pay periods, you get behind. And what do people necessarily do when they get behind? They get a credit card.
Yes.
And then when the one credit card is maxed, they get another one.
And
then,
a lot of people are doing that right now.
Yeah. And again, it's
really tragic.
It's not out of irresponsibility. It's out of
survival.
True need and survival.
Yeah.
And then the next step beyond multiple credit cards is a payday loan.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to begin to talk about the interest rate on those payday loans. So again, back to smart, educated, hardworking, doing everything right. But now we're talking about multiple credit cards at significant levels and payday loans just to get through. So anyway, so she is in this Suncoast financial wellness class. And she was saying to me that she was kind of embarrassed to come. But as we worked with her, we found small places to begin, to get some little wins, subscriptions that didn't realize were being charged every month. There's a few dollars there. Ways to buy kind of off-brand names at grocery stores. There's a few dollars of savings there.
So you have those conversations.
Absolutely.
It's that deep in these classes.
Absolutely. How to be less wasteful for some of the meals that she's preparing at home. Maybe not going out at all. Just little steps that can save a few. So with that, we found $100 a month that Danielle was able to save. And then we said, okay, let's address the smallest credit card loan that you have. And that's how it begins, right? Start chipping away. And we did this for a year with her. She's able to pay off a couple of her credit cards, begin to build up some emergency funds. And the next time she had a car issue, she had money to pay for that repair. And it was just a burden, that was lifted off her. So that's just one small example.
That's one story, but it's what you experience, which keeps you going.
Absolutely, yeah.
Keeps you going. Yeah. Okay, so a couple of fun things.
Sure.
Okay, we got a bus.
I've heard and I've seen.
You've heard, you've seen. The folks now are taking a look at it right now.
Yeah.
We have this awesome bus. Bus was donated to us. We're working with you guys on this project. We wrapped it. It looks like the Suncoast mobile.
I love it.
So what are we doing with it? Do you know? Can you tell a little?
Well, I have some ideas.
What?
I have. Sure. This is the foreshadowing that I spoke about. So I have another role as a board member for the Early Learning Coalition of Hillsborough County.
Yes.
And that's all about early learning. We got to get these young ones interacting with adults and speaking words and reading words, et cetera, all about third grade literacy. Yep. If they don't outliterate by third grade, the high school graduation rate is almost, almost doesn't happen. So my idea, and I've talked to Dr. Hicks over at the Early Learning Coalition, and I've talked to our other friends, our partners at the Glazers Children's Museum, who all are about early learning. That's how their activities are designed. Is I want to take the Feeding Tampa Bay bus, if you'll allow me to one of the Early Learning Coalition centers.
Yes.
Put a whole bunch of their kiddos on the bus, hopefully with mom or dad or grandma and grandpa. Bring the bus over to the Glazers Children's Museum for a day of play to stimulate early learning and to concentrate on that parent and youth interaction and really help address the early learning challenge with the Feeding Tampa Bay bus. What do you think about that?
I love that.
All right.
I love that
Let's
because
do
I
it.
think there's a number of things that you're introduced, especially if you have mom, dad, grandma, whoever,
Yes.
caregivers,
Yep.
on with the babies. It's introducing them to resources, right? You're taking them on a fun day. These are all things that you can count on, and we're using our cool bus,
Yep.
right? I love that.
That's my plan.
All right.
We're going to do it.
Well, when you tell me, because my job is bringing the PR, you let me
Okay.
know, and we'll make sure that we talk about it, and
Love it.
everybody can see our bus.
Okay.
So just a few personal questions. First of all, like I said, you are everywhere. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us today to help explain how important partnerships are, but really like-minded partnerships. They go a whole lot further if you're on the same page, right?
Yes. Well, I'm
So-
thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I love bumping into you. It's like I go into a room where I don't think I know anybody, and it's like, hi.
But,
You're
but if you
there.
go a lot of places,
It's like home.
if you go to a lot of places and I'm there, that means you're going lots of places too. Right?
Sometimes, kind of our job, right? It's
Yeah.
our job. It's our job. So these are personal questions for you,
Sure.
just to get to know you better. Coffee or tea?
Definitely coffee.
Definitely coffee. No
Definitely
tea at
coffee.
all.
Black. I'm a former Navy guy, right? Just black
I
coffee.
didn't know that.
You
Thank
didn't
for
really?
your service.
Oh my gosh, that was
I
my
didn't know that.
that was my life before I came to Suncoast. I was a
Thank you.
23-year Navy officer.
Thank you.
Yeah, loved it. It was fun.
Right. Thank you so much for your
Indeed.
service. That's amazing. And crazy respect for that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Vacation, beach or snow?
I was raised
Or
in
something else.
I was raised in Connecticut, so like that whole
So you're getting me
snow and
out.
cold is inside of me. I'm slowly coming around to the beach, but
Okay.
I that snow is tough to beat for me.
Really? So
Love it.
you pick
Love it.
like I love traveling the week after Christmas and into New Year's, and anywhere I go, I'm experiencing because it's so hot here all the time. Why do I need to go to a beach?
One of our favorite family vacations was during Christmas
Mm-hmm.
in New Hampshire, and it was shortly after Christmas. Huge snowfall. My wife and I got snowshoes. And
Yeah?
we started doing like a nice little hike through the alpine forest in New Hampshire. It was gorgeous.
It was beautiful.
Loved it.
Okay. Guilty pleasure meal or food.
Ooh, I love to eat. So food, yes. Guilty
But
pleasure.
what is the one that when you're craving something, what is it?
Probably a perfectly cooked 16-ounce filet with all the trimmings. How's that sound?
Ooh, dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your trimmings? What's the side you want with it?
Potatoes of some variety.
Okay.
Probably some whipped potatoes, heavy on the butter and the garlic.
Okay.
And then something green on the side, either green beans or asparagus.
Okay.
Simple, very simple.
Delicious.
It's wonderful. And a glass of red wine.
Yes. Okay, that's dinner. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Yes, that's one of my favorite meals too. So this is more business personality
Okay.
questions. If you could create a new initiative, Pass the Bus,
Oh, pass the bus.
that we could work on together, what would that be?
We got the bus going on. We got our prosperity pathways going
Mm-hmm.
on. I think I'd take that prosperity pathways and bring it to other regions. You asked about other partners.
Yeah.
We work with your friends Harry Chapin down
Yes.
in Southwest Florida because that's part of
Yes.
our footprint and what's beyond
Absolutely.
yours. But I think we can expand that and do something similar down there with them.
And
it-
other ones.
I would love
What
to
is
do
your
that.
what is Suncoast region? Like
Our
where do you guys
furthest south, we're primarily the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Our furthest south is in Naples.
Okay.
And then on the West Coast, we go all the way up to Chiefland.
Okay.
So that's most of our 80.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple years ago, we expanded into Central Florida. So we have
Okay.
3 branches in Orange and Osceola.
Okay.
And then the most recent news, kind of not breaking news, but very
Dun, dun,
recent,
dun.
is we are merging with a smaller credit union on the East Coast, which is called Launch Credit Union. And they have 17 brick and mortar facilities in Brevard and Volusia.
Wow. So we need to
So-
connect you. This has such potential.
Yeah.
We test it here, figure it all
Yes.
out because you have so many other food banks you can work with in those regions.
Yes. So that's part of our, so that merger between those 2 credit unions, it'll still be Suncoast Credit Union.
Yes.
So the Launch Credit Unions are joining the Suncoast family. And it's already a signed legal document. We'll be operating as a single credit union sometime next year. And that's our first footprint on the East Coast of Florida.
Congratulations
I
on
think
that.
we are so
love
excited
that.
back to the idea of taking the Suncoast value proposition and expanding it to as many of our neighbors and members as we can.
Perfect. I love that. I love that for you guys. Great things are coming up
I think so.
in the years to come. Last question. This is, I'm curious. Now I've learned that you're a Navy man. I do not know how I did not know that. How did that escape me? If you were to choose a different career path than you weren't at Suncoast, or you could answer it too, that when you retire, is there something that you have a goal to do?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm learning more and more that as people get towards that traditional retirement age, 60, 63, 63, they're starting their own business, starting small businesses. So if I did that, it would be something outside and related to landscaping or trees. I love landscaping. I love gardening and trees.
Is that your relaxation on the weekend, working in your yard?
Yeah, I have a little postage stamp of a yard, but I'm out there all the time.
I live that life.
Yeah, and it, when we lost a 100-year oak during the Milton Helene 3-week space, but I had a neighbor a few houses down the street, and he had a beautiful date palm, and he hated it. He wanted it out of his yard. It's a beautiful palm, absolutely gorgeous. So we dug out the old oak, took out the stump, transplanted this date palm, and it is flourishing, and it makes me so happy to look at that.
Like you replace, you replaced with the. It's so funny because we have a lot of those trees. I live in the Odessa area, north of Tampa.
Yeah.
We have these beautiful, beautiful oak trees that, like when you drive down my road, they kind of cross over.
This canopy,
Yep. It looks like a tunnel. I love the tunnel that goes over the bridge. But I didn't think about it. I'm allergic to oak trees.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Both species, male and female?
I have no idea. It hasn't gotten that deep, but I know when spring comes, I want to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's so pretty outside. Like that. Bob, thank you so much. Again, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for your service. That is so much appreciated, especially during these times when we want to think of those that are committed to our country and keeping us free. So thank you what you've given, and we want to send shout outs to those that are fighting so hard for us now. And thank you for Suncoast and being such an amazing, thoughtful, transparent, authentic partner that you are.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. It's always good to be in your facility. I value our partnership between Feeding Tampa Bay and Suncoast Credit Union greatly, and we look forward to more awesome things to come.
We're just going to do more.
Got it.
Thank you guys so much as we thank Bob for his time today. And please make sure you look at the notes if you're interested in Pathways to Prosperity. Anyone can join, and we have openings. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe so we can keep you up to date. And hopefully I'll meet you at one of those classes because I'm joining too.